Okay, hello everybody. Today we're going to be talking about dynamic arrays, in C specifically. Now, a dynamic array is a data structure that works more or less like a regular array, except when you run out of space, it will allocate a new array and copy over the old contents, replacing it. Now, this is something that comes pre-built into a lot of programming languages. C++ has the standard vector, Python has lists, Zig has array lists, the list goes on. But it's something that if you're relatively new to programming, you might not consider how it's actually implemented. So we are going to build it ourselves today. And you can see here, this is going to be our end result where we can declare, I named the structure V for vector, like it is in C++. That's not a great naming scheme, especially not using a single letter like that, but it's easy to read and easy to write for now. So we're going to be able to declare a new one. In this case, you'll see what that 0 is, and then push an item onto it, and then print that item. So that's what we're going to have at the end. Now let's actually implement it. So the first thing we're going to want is this v underscore new function, which is going to take an integer cap, which is for capacity. And the first thing it's going to do is we are going to allocate ourselves a vector, and then we are going to just check to see if that allocation worked, because allocations can fail, people. It's an important thing to remember. I forgot to set the return on this, which is going to be a pointer to v. Next, we're going to set v items equal to an allocation of size of cap times size of int, because this is a dynamic array of integers. Let's check to see if that was successful. And then if not, we want to make sure we clean up v itself and return null. Then we want to make sure we set the capacity so that it can track that. Okay. So that should have us for, what mistake did I make? Oh yeah. Malloc size of, yep. Okay. Then we're going to do a free operation that will take in our dynamic array. First, we want to check to see if it's null. If it is, we don't want to free it. We want to make sure to clean up the items first, and then clean up the dynamic array itself. Then, the last thing we want to do is we're going to declare a push operation that's going to take a pointer to our dynamic array and an integer to push on, and we're going to check if the length is greater or equal to the capacity, and if it is, we're going to calculate a new capacity. Now, The exact number you are going to do for this is going to be an implementation detail that you might want to consider when actually implementing something like this for yourselves. Right now, we're going to set it equal to the initial capacity times 2, and there's an edge case where if the initial capacity was 0, we don't want it to still be 0, so we will set it equal to, let's say, 10. And then we are going to reallocate, and we are going to use the realloc function for that. Items, new cap times size of int. And then if new items equals null, we're going to return 1, which is an error state. Do we have it closed? Yeah, we do. And then we are going to set v items equals new items, v cap equals new cap. Then we're going to set the last item in our dynamic array. Set the length to 1 more than it was before, and return 0, which means no errors. Up, and then okay. So this is all the code we have. It's a little bit more than 60 lines of code. Let's try running it. And it works. You can see, just to reiterate here at the end, we allocate, and here we're setting the capacity to 0, which means the array has no capacity. We're going to do an error check to see if the allocation failed. We're then going to push the value 10. If that fails, we're going to free and return 1, an error state, and then we're going to print that value, so we should see 10, which is exactly what we see. And that's all.